I'm going to do it the way I used to do Texting Tuesday. And so, number one, we have to determine what segment of our database are we going to send the text and or email blast out to. And then number two is actually doing the work of that. If you don't have KV Core, use whatever you've got.
Yeah.
And also, this can be adapted to Facebook messaging, Instagram DMs. It could even be a social post, the script that I'm going to share with you today. So I'm going to go into KV Core. I'm going to go to my Smart CRM. And hopefully it doesn't take too terribly long here to load up with us being screen sharing. I know I've got a lot of I've got a lot of contacts, and then when you layer on that we're screen sharing, it probably doesn't help either.
And you're using a Mac.
And I'm using a Mac, which is, strike three.
And an iPhone. Man, Josh.
I know. So I'm going to choose prospect, new lead, and active lead. I'm going to go contact details. I'm going to choose buyer. I'm going to exclude a couple of hashtags because we've done testing and done different stuff here. And I've got some folks that aren't actually in my market in here. Long story, don't worry about it. I just want to exclude those so that they don't get this. I'm going to choose has phone, has email, and subscribe to text. Now, the reason why I'm choosing has phone and has email and subscribe to text is I get a lot of realtors and agents calling and texting my smart number, and then their number ends up in here. But if I choose that it has phone and has email, then I'm at least lowering the chance that my text broadcast goes to those agents, and I don't want it to go to them.
Yeah, the problem is if you have that, or even if you have other audiences that aren't realtors, whatever, who have texted you in the past only, they might unsubscribe, and if your unsubscribe rate is high, it hurts the whole thing.
Yeah, totally. So I'm going to filter that out. I'm going to get several pages here, and I'm not going to send to all of them on here, but I'm going to send to a couple of pages because I want to show you a couple of different variations. So I'm actually going to go to the last page. I'm going to go to page 13. And I'm going to use our reverse psychology or takeaway text script. Okay. So I'm going to select all. And I'll say morning, first name. Here's the takeaway.
Lowercase on purpose.
What's that?
Is the lowercase intentional?
Absolutely. Yeah. I know you're not ready to buy right now, but when you do, so I've got an idea for how to weave in the end on the selling side. When I blast this out to sellers, how would you weave in stop or end on this one?
Well, when you end up, or when you do end up, or what's do the rest, and then we'll put end in it.
When you
do it without worrying about the stop word, and then add the stop word after.
But when you do, will you have a home you'd need to sell first?
Okay. Will you end up having a home you need to sell first?
Yep. Will you? And that's where I was at. Yeah. That's where I was headed. So I know you're not ready to buy right now. But when you are ready, will you end up
will you end up needing to sell a home first or something like that, right?
Needing to
sell your current home first. Something like that.
Sell your current home. Sell your current home first. Okay? So it's important that when you're sending these kind of things out, like read it out loud to yourself because you'll identify things. Now, having some minor grammatical errors and things like that actually isn't a bad thing, but you don't want it to be confusing, right? You don't want it to be like nonsensical. So
and this might be a little,
yeah,
this might be a little jumbled.
Yeah. Morning, first name. I know you're not ready to buy right now, but when you are ready, will you end up needing to sell your current home first?
You don't have the now in there, the buy right now.
Ah, good call.
Are we trying, Josh? I don't know what you're doing
like,
here. Are we trying to get them to say, "But I am ready to buy right now"?
Exactly. And well, so there's a couple of things going on here, right? This is like anti-selling. Instead of pushing, like, hey, when are you ready to go? And when, are you ready to get pre-qualified? Are you ready to go look at houses? We're actually taking it away and taking the assumption that they're not ready right now. Okay. But what's also interesting is there's an embedded command of ready to buy right now.
Yeah.
Or just the embedded command of buy right now.
It's actually you're ready to buy right now, and the brain doesn't understand the not.
Exactly.
The embedded command is you're ready to buy right now. The not, if you know NLP or hypnosis, the not kind of goes out the window.
So I'm gonna let this one. I'm gonna shoot this one out, but then I'm gonna show a couple of different variations. Okay, a couple of different variations of how you can take the same idea, and then I'll even create where the sort of the call to action. Like I view this as two steps, right? It's the takeaway selling and then the call to action. And so I'm gonna show a couple of different variations of that version, and then we'll vary the call to action altogether. Now, the idea that Ryan shared about including stop or end, if I've done a good job up front, I don't even have to worry about that. So if I've got the stop or end in the initial communication, I may not even have to be concerned with that being in there.
And the message only gets added on the first text you send to somebody.
Right.
So if you've already texted these people before, it's not as much of a concern.
Right. So I guess my point is I'm going to show some variations where we're not like sort of forcing the word end in there.
Yeah.
In that fashion. It doesn't seem like it's loading up the next grouping. Or maybe I had the wrong. Maybe it was the next one.
Really, Josh, with texting, with all of that, you want to be less and less aggressive and more service, because they're really clamping down. There's all kinds of stuff in the FTC. You just kind of want to be as cool as possible.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna mix this up. So I'm gonna pretend like we don't need to worry about the word end. Okay.
Yeah.
I know you're not ready to buy right now, but when you do find your dream home, do you have a home you'd need to sell first? Let me know. Thanks. Okay. So we're gonna let that go and shoot that out. So I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna go back to page 12 because I want to catch that, and I want to send this. This one I know works really well and is going to fill up our dashboard with activity and conversations, and we could use all of that. And it's a good time. The sun's shining. People are thinking about buying a home. So I'm going to blast that one out again. But now this next grouping, I'm going to change the context entirely. Okay. So let's go to a different grouping here. Come on. It's not the right. There we go. Jennifer Smith. Okay. So I'm going to select these. And now I'm going to weave in a different sort of offer or call to action. So I know you're not ready to buy right now, but when the time is right, would you be interested in learning about our Make Home Affordable? Okay. Or I could say, would you be interested in learning about the special financing programs we have available right now? Or would you be interested in learning about, 3 programs available to purchase
For
with
first
0
time
down,
buyers.
or for first time buyers, right? So any number of things. So, you can make your call to action around, do you have a home to sell, right? So you're determining renter, homeowner, or you can make it around financing. And there are other creative things you could do with this as well. Let's be honest, right? There are lots of ways that you can slice this.
And get the you got learn about instead of learning about in there.
Doggone it. And you know what? I had a grammatical error on the one that I had by twice, and the second time should have been but. So I'm going to send to one more grouping here, and make sure that it's grammatically correct. And then I want to give you the seller version, which is not rocket science. You probably actually you may not have thought of what we're going to do. So I'll share that one in a minute here. So let me select all. Okay, morning, first name. I know you're not ready to buy right now. I didn't even copy the new one. But when the time is right, would you be interested in learning about our Make Home Affordable? Question mark. Let me know. Now I got the about our Make Home Affordable program. Okay, so we'll here's what we're going to do. All of these variations without the misspellings and grammatical errors, we'll clean that up. We'll get that added to the site, wakeup.realestate, for you all to swipe and deploy. We'll get that. Mike's probably already on it, so we'll have that added like later today for you all to R&D as quickly as possible. But what I want to do is give you the seller variation to this. So I'm going to exclude FSBO tags because I don't want to send this to FSBOs that are in our database. And I don't know which of these tags is the right ones. Doesn't really matter. Now I'm going to apply filters. There are no matching results. What does that mean? Hashtag is not seller. How can that be? Come on. All right. Well, I must have to clear. I'm going to have to start over here. So we'll clear it out. Yeah, I know. Geez, Louise. Man, oh man. Okay. So prospect lead, active lead. I'll choose contact details. Here we go. We got seller. Hashtag is not FSBO.
We need demo. We need when Josh is doing a demo music.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so has phone, has email, subscribed, apply filters. Please work. So we don't have that error again. If not, I'll just give you the script, and we'll. How is that possible? That's not possible. What am I doing wrong? I like this tune. I have no idea how this is possibly happening. Why there none of it is coming up. But let's I don't know. I'll just send it to myself. I'll pull.
What's going on? It's not loading the contacts. I wasn't paying attention.
It's just saying no matching results, which is literally not possible. I have hundreds.
Prospect, active lead. Maybe you had like multiple hashtags or something picked.
I did, but I had multiple as not being. I don't know. Here's the script. Hi or morning. First name. And if you don't have first names, right? If you don't have that, just don't include it, right? Just leave that off. I know you're not ready to sell right now, but when the time is right, will you be trading up, or right sizing? No, thanks, Josh. Bob. Okay, and if you want to weave in end, will you end up trading, or will you end up
moving to a bigger or a smaller house? You could do it that way too.
Yep. Say that again, Ryan, because I was speaking over top.
Will you end up moving to a bigger or a bigger house or a smaller house?
Right. Like so simple way to do that, which would be a variation. So I will have to, after the session here, figure out why no contacts were showing up. The email versions of that is simple. It's essentially the same thing. You can use the subject line. You can use their name, or you can say quick question, or you can say just curious. You could even just put a question mark, literally just a question mark as the subject line, and then asking the same question. Hey, so-and-so, I know you're just curious. No, I'm sorry. Hey, hi, Ryan. I know you're not ready to buy right now, ... line break. But when the time is right, will you be looking to, I'm sorry, the buy one. When the time is right, do you have a home you need to sell first? Or when you do find that dream home, do you have a home you'd need to sell first? Let me know either way. Thanks, Josh. And again,